Hello and welcome back to Clangen, or to Oregon Trail possibly. My name is Rusty and today I'm going to be exploring Clangen since it's been a little bit, but I'm also going to add a little bit of a twist to it. So, as you can probably tell from the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be playing this as a bit of a mini game of Oregon Trail of sorts. So, we'll get into what all of that means here in a second, but I do just want to acknowledge that Clangen seems pretty different from the last time that I've actually played it, so there's no background noise. I'm not going to add in anything except maybe some old-timey folk music here and there just to switch it up, but there's some really nice, pleasant background sounds right now. They also added some new settings here. So if you guys also haven't touched this in a little bit, the full screen looks different. It looks a lot better now. They've got the audio and they've got some extra options here. So it's a very different game right now, and I'm really happy to see that they're still working on this very actively. Now, with that being said, there's also probably some updates here that I'm not privy to before I start this challenge, so in some ways, I may be going into this a little bit more blind as well, but I'm totally down for that. I think that just adds some fun to both exploring Clangen again and to playing this little mini game here. So, really quickly, I just want to get into the rules. There are not that many, but effectively, you have to start off with a new clan with no more than one extra cat. So you have the little icons at the bottom. We'll see that in a second. Once all those faces are lit up, you can only take one more cat with you. And unless otherwise noted, every moon you must send all cats on missions and must proceed no matter what. And the only exception to this is going to be your leader, who is going to basically be your determination on if you're able to advance further along or not. So effectively, leaders cannot patrol, and if they're sick or hurt or grieving or something, then you cannot move further along. If you reach the end with the same number of cats as you started with, you win. This may be too difficult, this may be quite easy, I'm not really sure. But what I presently have here is rules kind of like the card game. So there are going to be 5 rounds and then 5 subsections of each round, essentially. And we're going to use this to climb up the mountain or ascend the mountain to its peak. And then once we're at the peak, then our clan is able to settle there forever and we win. So that's kind of the in-universe explanation there. But of each of the 5 rounds, there are the 5 sub-rounds here. And if we make it through 5 sub-rounds successfully, we'll get a boon based off of our leader's personality. I have a few lined out here, but we'll get into that when we get there. And then effectively you can use that boon on the next round. So this first round, we're not going to start off with any. It'll be as easy or difficult as it ever can be. And we'll basically treat everything with a little bit of reflavor. So if a cat dies of sickness, it dies of dysentery or maybe a snake bite. If a cat dies on a border patrol, then it died to outlaws, so on and so forth there. And we do have some boons that will kind of help us out with those interactions, but the cats also have to keep track of their own supplies, like hunting. Editing Frosty cutting in real quickly just to say, since all patrols are maxed out and random, you do not get a very decisive number of patrols in a moon, especially when your clan is small. So in order to proceed, you have to luck into getting a training patrol, and you also have to succeed in that training patrol, whatever it is. So progression is not guaranteed in this game. You could encounter issues with a border patrol mission where you get mauled by dogs and lose all 6 cats. You could encounter sock issues, and then you're actually really hoping you get a hunting mission so you can proceed. So there's a little bit of nuance to this challenge. I want this to be as concise and as clear as possible, so I'm not going to go into any other explanations at the moment. I'm just going to go ahead and dive right on in with a new clan here. And the cruel season is still not out. And there's that music. It's so nice. So we do still have the fresh kill pile, nutrition system, and herb gathering and treatment. So we can't directly influence this at all. It has to be whatever the cats are actually getting. But we'll go ahead and go on here. And we are going to call this the Trail Clan. Okay. So when it comes to selecting your clan, I'm gonna say that if you want to try this challenge yourself, feel free to just take whoever you want. But for me, I'm gonna go ahead and randomize who falls into what role, just to keep it pretty fresh and interesting here. So I think I like the looks of this cat for leader. So this is Twig Leg, who will become Twig Star. So she's strict and an eloquent speaker. What that eloquent speaker grants us, I'm going to say, is going to be a boon of free refusal of 1 patrol. So if Twig Star survives his first 5 rounds to go on to the next section of the trail, then that is the boon that we will get. But if she doesn't, then we might get something else. Okay, so then for deputy is just going to be treated as a normal warrior, except they're going to possibly advance to leader later. I'm going to take Twilight Thrush, a beloved kit sitter. And then for medicine cat, I think I like the looks of... We have a lot of elders, and I don't think that's necessarily good for us. I'm gonna take Skip Hare, a young adult, fierce, talented swimmer. And then this is what I mean when I say the cats light up and like tell you how many you can take with you. So outside of these 3 pivotal roles, you get 4 additional cats that are on the screen here. And then with this rule, you get +1, so 5. You can take less, you cannot take more. But I'm going to take Daisy Flash, Thunder Spot, Scale Paw, and I think I'll take some kittens. Sorry, elders, I don't need dead weight on my wagons. So I think I'll take that kitten and that kitten. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and hit the next step. And I'm sure you could probably do something like this in any of the possible biomes here. The ruins are pretty cool. But I am going to pick the mountain just for the sake of saying... Oh, this is a new one for me. Just for the sake of saying that we are ascending that mountain and climbing up the peaks. I'm a little tempted to take the ruins just because it's a new background. I know the cliff or even the cavern may make more sense, but maybe we can say that the ruins are where we're trying to get to, so we're advancing with this place in mind. Just because, again, I kind of want something new and different to spice it up here. Okay. Do I pick the snake? I think it's kind of fitting for Oregon Trail here. That also could kind of look like a road if you look at it from this perspective, not like shining down. They have a lot of choices, which is nice. But doesn't make this much easier for me. Okay, I just want to say I definitely appreciate all the new additions. I'm a little torn between these 2 here just because they're kind of the most reminiscent of the actual game for me, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. Alright, our clan is created and saved. Ooh, that was a fun little noise. Let's actually meet our clan here. So in order to win, we have to advance through all the possible slots with at least 8 cats in tow. I don't know, again, how easy or difficult that's going to be, but I think it'll probably end up okay. So our leader is Twigstar, who can't believe Scalepaw thinks moving the border a mouse length wouldn't matter. A strict, eloquent speaker who is competent. Then we have Twilight Thrush, who's grumpy, a beloved kit sitter, and also competent. Skip Hare, who has a list of complaints for Twigstar. Fierce, talented swimmer, and prepared. Thunderspot, who wonders the Star Clan has given Skip Hare any prophecies lately. An adventurous lore master. Daisy Flash, who's helping to escort the medicine cat to gather herbs. Charismatic great climber and learner of lore. Scalepaw, who's confident, a picky nest builder, never sits still, who is apprentice in Thunderspot, and thinks she's the best hunter. Rattlekit, I didn't even notice that before, but fitting enough. It's telling an on Orange Gale for settling, or I can't read. It's telling on Orange Gale for something Rattlekit was told he couldn't do. Then we have Cresskit, who has taken up the role of guarding the fresh kill pile from cats wanting an extra piece, and is taking his job very seriously. So we have 3 pretty young cats, but I think that's better than 3 old cats. Orange Gale is our Star Clan cat, okay. Good to know here. Hi, Editing Frosty is back to explain once again because I did not do a very good job of it previously. So you should see a new screen flash up on the screen now. And so this is going to be like our game board where we will keep track of how many spaces or how many slots at the mountain, I suppose, we successfully proceed on. In order to move ahead a space, you just need to get a successful training mission. You need only 1 in 1 moon to proceed. So if you get a successful training mission and then you get a failure, you can still proceed for the success and you don't get, any negative consequences for the failure. But the caveat to that is if you get 2 successful training missions in the same moon, you still only proceed forward 1 space. So you can't proceed multiple spaces in 1 round. You can, of course, modify that however you want. And then you can proceed for every success and then fall back for every failure, for example. It's totally up to you, but just to give you an idea, this is our game board. It'll come and it'll go throughout the video, just because I do kind of like the background of the ruins a little bit more than I like our game board. But I think that's a good way to measure our progress here and see how much further we have to go. This will still take some time. You can also do more or less rounds if you so choose. I think 5 and 5 is going to be pretty good and pretty reminiscent of some of the older games. But just for an example about what we're going to do here, we cannot send Twigstar. So we're going to just send our medicine cat out alone. They can still do this. And we had to proceed no matter what, so it looks like we actually got pretty lucky and got a recruiting mission. But unfortunately, we did not get there in time, so we did not get any additional cats. So then we had to take the maximum number of cats that we can, which is all of them minus Twigstar, and then we just go on a random patrol type. And this one is actually training, so we succeed here. In either case, if everybody loves the tales that we're telling of the trail along the way, then we will succeed. But unfortunately, our tales of what may lay ahead is not very entertaining, so we lose any storytelling we could have had along the way. Okay, so that is the basic premise here. We're not really dealing with any supplies or any challenges beyond what's going to naturally come up during the game itself. So our supplies that we're going to have to actually manage are the herbs and the food. The natural challenges that we're going to face are probably going to come on the missions themselves, especially the border missions, which will be like the kind of calamity things. But that's going to be kind of the gist of this. So we don't proceed 1 space, and we'll time skip a moon. And it looks like Crest's kit was grabbed by an eagle, but Twigstar saves him. The kit is still left injured. Okay. I'm not going to go into every status update. I'm not going to go into every change. This is probably going to be pretty long as it is. But Skip Hair now does have an accessory. And Crest Kit is being told to be quiet despite being injured with a claw wound. So this is just going to kind of proceed in this way. I'm mostly going to showcase our rolls and our time skips, and we'll go on from there. So we're going to send out Skip Hair, Herb Gathering. And does bring back some actual herbs this go. And we send out everybody else. And this is actually another training mission, so we're getting pretty lucky here. But unfortunately, we don't succeed. Okay, that's that. Next moon. Newly made apprentice Rattlepaw touches noses with their new mentor Daisy Flash. Okay, so here's Rattlepaw, now a little bit more grown, confident, and never sits still. Alright, we kind of just keep rolling these dice here. Skip Hair gets oak leaves and elder leaves. And we're almost up to full patrol, which means that we'll be able to hopefully go on multiple different mission types. And this is just a hunting mission, I'm pretty sure. And in either case, we don't succeed. And Crestpaw is now apprenticed to Twigstar. We can see what they look like a bit healthier. Very pretty cat. Charismatic and quick to make peace. Burdock and plantain were gathered. It does look like we're holding pretty steady on the pieces of prey we're getting and what we need, but we are definitely decreasing a bit here. Okay, so this is a border mission. We're not antagonizing anything, we're just hitting proceed. And we ended up improving relationships. That doesn't do anything for us though. It just means that we passed a potentially dangerous obstacle. Crestpaw's wound has healed well, and Twigstar stands above the clan, proclaiming that Scalepaw shall now be known as Scale Snarl, honoring her resilience. Another thing too, if you want to help make the game go a bit quicker, is that you can just have at least one successful mission each go, and then that will advance you further. I picked training missions because otherwise I don't think you really get anything actively out of them. And frankly, it feels painfully slow at the beginning, but once we start getting pages and pages of cats, I don't think it's going to feel the same way anymore. But Scale Snarl is confident, a fast runner, and a den builder. We really need more prey now, though. The kits are growing and that's putting attacks on our larder. Skip Hair is doing well in their role, though. Okay, so now we have a full patrol. We can hope we get a hunting mission, and we bring a huge amount of prey back. Okay, that's really helpful for our supply there. But now Thunderspot is sick. We'll see if they pull through, but that does put a little bit of a bummer on us. I also just want to go through real quick and see if anybody likes anybody else. Twigstar and Thunderspot like each other. Yeah, that's pretty mutual. But looks like nobody else is harboring any feelings for each other. That's okay. I just want to start having new cats to carry on the trail. Pass the torch to, so to speak, if something were to go wrong. And yeah, that last supply mission was great. So we got up to 122 pieces of prey, which will last us for 5 more moons. So just to clarify too what the boons are, I currently have a free hunting patrol. So like if a cat's a good hunter, for example, that's a leader, then we can get 1 free hunting patrol around just to help bolster our stores, I suppose. We get a free refusal of a border patrol for a cat that's either like more charismatic or more cowardly. We can get smaller patrols, just for some of those weird miscellaneous types. And then we can also get a guaranteed progression from a training mission, As long as we roll a training mission, even if we fail, we can still proceed, and that comes from more good mentor types. There might be others I add, depending on what I see that we need. Like even going on a training mission for a cat that's like more wise, I think could be helpful too. But for now, it's just mission as usual. And part of the reason that the leader isn't allowed to go is just to like give a status for how well the clan is doing. So like in the game, you can get like a broken axle that like stops progress. I wanted some kind of mechanism for that, and I think the leader is just the easiest way to do that. I guess you could also keep your leader in their regular role and use your medicine cat as that, but I like to have it be a cat that won't patrol, and I think the leader is just the easiest or most visible to see. You could also probably have that be your deputy instead, but I kind of like the drama of the leader just focusing on camp and making sure everyone has the resources they need to keep pushing forward. But Scale Snarl and Twig Start looks like are injured. Oh nope, just Scale Snarl, which is good for us so we can actually proceed. But here's Scale Snarl. It's a little bit of a mouthful here, but it's a very, very pretty cat. Confident, fast runner, and den builder. So yeah, something like fast runner could also be a free flee from a border mission. Okay, so the Old Badger set is a training mission. We have a chance to proceed here. Okay, this is kind of neutral, but I'll still count this. So we're proceeding a slot forward up the mountain. It was a slow start, but it's a start all the same. Because that took, what, 6 moons? Yep, 6 moons. And I think that was it, so we'll go ahead and time skip. So Scale Snarl is feeling a little bit worse for wear. Twigstar had, I guess, a minor injury, and she's all good now. And Thunderspot healed but overexerted themselves and is now sore. We are still doing okay on our current and needed prey, and we are still doing okay when it comes to medicine. So our supplies are doing alright. And it does look like we actually had another training mission, so good on us there. We're actually getting pretty lucky with our distribution so far. So it looks like it was just a little bit more mentorship about how to go ahead. So I guess that we are just really learning how to traverse some of the bad terrain that comes with the mountain. Okay, well that's really frustrating because Scale Snarl's infection disappeared, but they did die from a snake bite. I'm gonna say it was. All the same, so I guess the snake oil wasn't enough for the snake bite. But we are not letting that keep us down as Rattlefox is given their warrior name. But Twigstar has also gotten green cough, so we're not going to be able to proceed. Our leader is down, our wagon is broken, we cannot go forward. But this is what Rattlefox looks like, still charismatic and fast as the wind. And we are down a cat, so not a good time to be going into winter. And we just had a border mission, so no chance to proceed there. And we are also running out of food pretty rapidly. Okay, moving into winter with the snows falling. It looks like our doctor did their job and Twigstar is no longer sick. So we were able to recover and now it's just continuing on. This is a pretty big snowfall though. Then here's Crestpaw. Charismatic and quick to make peace. All grown up but not given a name yet. Okay, this is considered training mission. We are eligible to proceed. But we end up encountering dangers at the trail, and Rattlefox gets trapped in a landslide, and that ends up slowing our progress. So if you want to make this even harder, I guess you can have events like that take you back a space. But for now, I think we just carry on. So Trail Clan welcomes Crest Freckle as new warrior, honoring his wit. Twigstar was caught sharing prey with a kitty pet who was chased off by a patrol. The clan has encountered Kagamine Rin. I'm assuming that's a Japanese anime thing. So Kagamine, maybe. But unfortunately, that is not going to be a new addition to the clan. But Crest Freckle does have a new name. We are getting dangerously low on prey articles here, so hopefully we get a hunting mission soon. Okay. This is a hunting mission, but it's a dangerous one. We need it. The rat was sick, we didn't catch it. I don't know if that's a better or worse thing at this point. Oh, and that new cat that we were possibly recruiting has passed away. So that did not take long. So this is what Kagamine Rin looked like. I'm very sad we didn't get to actually know them. They were a very, very pretty cat, and I'm sure we could have used some more hands on deck here, just to give us a chance to go on multiple patrols, if nothing else. Skip here got frostbite. That doesn't stop us in any particular way, but it does mean we won't have a cat to treat us. Okay, this is another training mission. No one got hurt. We found out that there was danger there. I'm gonna still count this as a win. Maybe we took a slightly more dangerous way. Confirmed it was dangerous, but we were not harmed in the process, so kind of who cares. Take us on another slot there. Continuing on. Yep, we don't have enough healthy medicine cats, but luckily we are into spring, and hopefully the worst is behind us now. Once again, this is another training mission, and it looks like we're actually going to be able to proceed. We had another scary fall, but Thunderspot was grabbed by their rough just in time, and while it was scary, no one got hurt, and we didn't have to lose time digging them out, so we're proceeding. Now, I was expecting to have a lot more cats by now. Just wanted to do a little bit of a checkup on relationships here. Twigstar hates Rattlefox. And honestly, it kind of looks like everybody just wants to be with everybody now. I'm not going to make any mates at the time, at this particular moment. I'm going to wait for bars to go up a little bit further and see if they don't act on their own. I don't want to interfere too much, but I do want us to start replenishing our population here soon. Okay, Skip Hair's healed, but not without a scar. That's fine. Issues are expected on the trail. And we do really need prey here. Okay, we do get some prey. Nothing of interest happened over the moon. Okay. We had a potentially dangerous interaction with the other clan's kids, but they actually recognized that we were helping them, so don't kill us. Luckily. Twigstar's tail was badly injured by a fox, which means we can't proceed anymore. We have to take a rest stop. So hopefully we can make full use of this time. And we get some more prey. Thunderspot asked Daisy Flash out after Daisy Flash talked with his mate. Thunderspot and Daisy Flash had become mates. And Twilight Thrush and Daisy Flash had become mates. Like I said, everyone kind of wanted to get together, and Daisy Flash seems to be the hot commodity of the clan. So they are now in a polycule with Twilight Thrush and Thunderspot. So hopefully we're gonna get some kittens here soon, maybe? Wow, no one really likes Rattlefox. Poor Rattlefox. Okay, once again, we had a training mission. It's kind of neutral. It would count as a success, but Twigstar is sick, so even though we found the path, we cannot go down it just yet. Oh, wow. Okay, well, that was quick. Twilight Thrush is now expecting, but Daisy Flash did fall into a river and has been hacking and sputtering ever since. So we do still have some cats that can proceed on patrols at least, but we are definitely starting to show some scars here. And at least we're really stocking up on prey while we're here. Twilight Thrush has moved into the nursery. I guess the sick bed. I don't really know where nursing cats would go on the trail. But Twigstar has healed. We've patched everything up so we can proceed along the trail once we get the opportunity to. And we were really down on number of patrolling cats. I really don't want this, but we have to take it. Okay. Luckily, we are bad at hunting. Okay. And we have 2 new additions to the clan. We have Scrub Kit, a newborn male who's shy with green-yellow eyes, and Sewn Kit, a newborn female with cyan eyes, and who is skittish as well. Okay. Those are honestly pretty cute little mountain names. I really don't mind that at all. And the trail waits for nobody, so let's see what else we get. Okay, we got a recruiting mission with Skip Hair here. Crumpet has joined the clan along with Vervain Kit and Day Kit. Okay, let's check them out, and just like that, our clan has basically doubled. Crumpet is like around camp with Wonder. Wise, formidable fighter and great hunter, a young adult female cat. This is what she looks like healthy. And I don't really care about kitty pets or accessories or anything in this. We can just say it's like a stranger we met along the way that's wearing kind of weird attire. Then we have Vervain Kit, who's bullying, and Day Kit, who's unruly. Day Kit looks like they'll have an interesting kind of two-tone pelt, but we're gonna have to wait until they get bigger to actually check that out. And we do get a little bit more food. Okay, Twigstar misstepped from a rock, but luckily did not break anything, so we're not delayed any further. And Daisy Flash's lungs do feel better again. I was actually a little concerned that those were going to be the last of the kits we had if Daisy Flash died there. I actually don't know what my settings are for... Okay. I didn't actually set this before. I probably should have. Oh, also we need to allow mass extinction events. So we got a little bit easy on the first go here, but that's fine. I will allow cats to breed with cats that aren't their mates. We'll keep the same-sex adoption thing just to, I don't know, maintain that. I'm not going to allow cats to have kittens with an unknown second parent. I want to keep it within the clan. I know that's probably going to get kind of dicey later, but I think that makes a little bit more sense than people having affairs left and right with random strangers along the trail. I don't think that that would happen all that much, and frankly, once the clan gets bigger, that option tends to go kind of crazy, but I'm going to disallow those two as well. Okay. Forgot to do that, my bad. Those are the settings I use. Pick and choose other settings as well, but I think mass extinction events does make sense for this game. Okay, we've got a training mission, and it's a nice practice session, so we are able to continue, and that puts us at our first round overall completed, and that means that for our next go here, we do get the leader's boon, which... Twigstar is strict but an eloquent speaker, so I'm going to say that that's a free refusal to border patrol. I'm pretty sure that that's what I said before, but if it's not, sorry, that's what I'm going to go with now. We're actually not in an awful position here, but we do still have 4 more of that exact same circumstance to go, so it's gonna be a long one. Thunderspot's gotten white cough, Daisy Flash got some bruises, And Scrub Kit is got some kind of chronic issue going on here. Constant joint pain. Aw. Poor little Tyke. Okay, but we're into winter. And we do not have a lot of able-bodied cats. So I'd say we have to be careful, but we can't really choose what we do. And we do get some prey. Okay, so Twilight Thrush and Crumpet have recovered from the strain of birth. Daisy Flash got white cough. Vervain Kit went missing for a few days, and Day Kit also has a chronic condition. So, raspy lungs. Who would have thought raising cats on the go is not the best thing for them? But we continue ever onward. Oh, this is a recruit mission, but it can be very, very dangerous. Gotta hit proceed. And Warbler Freckle has joined the clan. Okay, now we're starting to get that cascading recruitment now. But Warbler Freckle is careful and an impressive climber at 105 moons old. Twigstar keeps getting hurt, so I guess we're kind of snowed in. We can't proceed on the trail any further for a while. Thunderspot has recovered and is now expecting kits. Okay, so Twilight Thrush just had kits. Now Thunderspot is having kits with Daisy Flash. So they'll not be too far off in age and can kind of grow up together, which is nice. Okay, we are almost back up to where we could have another patrol again. Alright, and we had kind of a neutral border mission, so nothing else happens there. Okay, and with the snows fading away, we do see some general recovery of the cats. But unfortunately not a Twigstar. Okay, this is another recruit mission. We have to proceed. And Tammy has joined the clan. So here's Tammy, an adult male, compassionate, great speaker and hunter who is sick with green cough. Kind of scary. But if you do have a leader with multiple traits like this, I say you can just choose whatever boon that you want. Or honestly, you could probably even take both of them if you've been having a hard time. Okay, we have a lot of events this moon. So Scrubpaw is an apprentice to Twigstar, Stonepaw to Twilight Thrush, Vervainpaw to Crumpet, and Daypaw to somebody. Twilight Thrush is expecting again, and Thunderspot had one little kitten. Tammy did recover from green cough, and Twigstar's frostbite is gone, so we can proceed forward. And we don't really care about that. So here's Larkspur Kit, a newborn male with green eyes who's quiet, snuggling up to the belly of Thunderspot. And importantly, something I did see is we don't have enough prey for next moon. So we really need to get a hunting mission, but we don't have that boon, so I can't exactly do anything there. Okay, we had a territory mission. That doesn't help us. Okay, we did get a hunting go. We did bring back a large amount of prey. We have barely enough. Okay, that's all that matters. Just to give you a little bit of an update, this is what the clan is currently looking like. And we're still only into round 2. This, honestly, I'm really enjoying it, but this does probably take a little while. So if you want a longer game, you can do it how I'm doing it. If you want a shorter game, then modify the rules or number of rounds to suit your needs. Uh-oh. Okay, so I found kits on the edge of the border. I didn't refuse this border patrol because we only get one for this entire round 2, which requires 5 progressions. But Vervainpaw sadly passed away. in that scuffle, so Paw was killed by outlaws. Okay, and this is a training mission. I count this a success. We didn't spook and run. We had a good time, so we proceed. Okay, Twilight Thrush and Daisy Flash welcome a litter of 4. And Paw has moved and taken their place in Star Clan. We don't have enough healthy medicine cats, so it's just very possible that we've outnumbered what our medicine cat currently handle. I am going to say for my purposes of this run, I'm not going to appoint a cat. They have to go through the training process because becoming a doctor is a very involved process. And while I'm sure others could pick up, ideas along the way, I think that just makes the most sense. And apparently, of the 4 kits, Miss Kit is never going to walk. And Paw has contracted white cough due to their weak lungs, and Paw now has a new accessory. So our new additions are Needle Kit, Mouse Kit, Grass Kit, and Miss Kit, who is paralyzed. So these were all girls, actually. And I think their names are also pretty fitting there, too. This is a training mission. We do have a chance to proceed here. Legends tell the first clan cat that upon her death created the stars above and below. Scrubpelt can't help but think that Silverpelt must have been lonely as she decided to decorate her pelt with souls of fallen warriors. I don't know whether to call that a success, so I'm going to base that off of how this next bit goes. And I hit the wrong button. That wasn't on anybody's issue, so I'm going to count this as a proceed, just so we can move along the trail a little bit farther. We definitely seem to kind of hit a groove where we proceed pretty quickly and then something happens and it pretty much halts our progress. Okay. So this was a very interesting moon. Larkspur Kit got swarmed by bees and Grass Kit stepped on a bee. And Miss Kit's pelt gets torn as she drags herself around. It doesn't look like anybody can't sleep because of bugs and heat. That sounds about right. It sounds like we had some pretty major bee swarming issues, and it seems to really have affected the youngest ones the most. But it's not keeping them down, so we're not going to worry about it. We do need more food, though. Okay, that's a successful training mission. That's another successful training mission, so we're definitely proceeding for this next moon as well. And that means that the next opportunity I have to refuse the border mission that's not useful, I'm going to take. Okay, we don't have enough prey for next moon, so we have to go on a hunting mission. Again, I say have to, like that's actually going to help. Both Larkspur and Grass died from a bee sting. Okay, I'm gonna say that was a snake bite for both of them. We happened into a pit of snakes. That's really sad. But what can you do there? And that is not a successful training mission, so we are still just doing what we can. We got a little bit of food. It was enough. Okay. We need to get more. Okay, so Twilight Thrush and Daypaw are recovered, but Needle Kit is sick with kitten cough, and that usually is lethal, so there's definitely something out for our poor little kits here. We had a population boom, and now they don't care for that anymore. Okay, I have a free refusal of patrol. I am now using that to evade these outlaws, so rather than proceed, I am just not risking that. And now that is used until our next round. Okay, time skip. Okay, and we did not have enough food, so cats are now just satiated. We have to get more prey, but I can't do anything about it. So Scrub Paw is feeling better, and his name's Scrub Stripe. Oh, and Tammy and Needlekit have both recovered from their various ailments, so go them. We are hunting, and we do bring back food. That's what we needed to get there. Oh, and this is a training mission and a hunting one at that. I'm not going to count that as a win. Okay, so Ralph Fox is sick. Twigstar named Stone Paw to Stone Whisper, and Tammy's tail is badly injured. So we got Scrub Stripe and Stone Whisper now. And Daypaw is still just waiting on their name. They did get a little bit behind there. But yeah, you can kind of see a little bit now that they're grown what I mean by two-tone. So they've got this like grayish hue, and then it kind of goes out to tan or yellow. Okay, this is a recruiting mission. Snowpeak has joined the clan, a very fitting name for us trying to climb the mountain. Huh. Many seasons ago, before even Trail Clan itself, stood 5 ancient clans, each one a point on a single great star. They padded into danger where hills of bones seeped blood into the soil. Fire alone could save the clans. It swept through the land, scorching evil to ash, driving out those with cowardice in their hearts, until the good and strong could reclaim their places and peace rule among the elements. That is a training mission, and I will count that as a successful one, as we get Prophecy of Fire and Ruin, saving all. Okay, and let's check out Snowpeak before I forget about them. Here's Snowpeak, strict and a great storyteller. Honestly, a pretty fitting name, I think, for a cat with that pelt. And she's sick with white cough. Daypaw is named today Eagle. Tammy isn't feeling very well. Needlepaw is apprentice. And so is Mousepaw and Misspaw. We have enough prey for now, but not very much. And while we do go hunting, we don't catch anything. Okay, we're really just kind of hovering that fine line between starvation and food. Okay, we had some cats recover, some cats got worse. Twigstar, unfortunately, did get a dislocated joint, so we are again snowed in and cannot proceed along the trail. And unfortunately, we did get a successful training mission, just in some more stories, I suppose. But we can't go along. We do get some prey though. And this is our first moon where we can have 3 patrols. And we still get some more food, so we've got a little bit of cushion now. Oh, Skip Hair got attacked by rogues, so now they're sick or hurt. And unfortunately, we do have cats getting dysentery, so we can't really expect that someone's not going to die this winter. Okay, Twigstar is feeling better, so we can proceed if we get any more successful missions. And Warbler Freckle has joined the Elders. It doesn't really do anything for or against us, it does just mean we have 1 less cat that can patrol. Okay, and Needlepaw has a lesson on how to traverse the steep trail, and we managed to do so, so we can proceed, and that is the end of round 2. And since Twigstar is still our leader, we get the same boon, which is the refusal of another border patrol. Taking us into our next little round here, and pretty soon we'll be halfway up the mountain. I have no idea how long this is actually going to be. I'll probably skip over some of the more inconsequential moons. And again, just be a little bit more succinct with my explanations where necessary. Okay, we had a little bit of a dangerous event here, but it looked a lot scarier than it actually was. Okay, Crumpet is recovered from green cough, but Skip Hair seems to be getting worse. And we no longer have anybody who can take over as doctor, so we might need to get some prodigious kid into the den when we next get one. All right, we take some time to enjoy the scenery of some of the wildlife of the mountain. And seeing their ways, we are able to reflect and proceed a little bit further up the mountain. Again, we have like a rush of like 3 immediate proceeds, and then it's just quiet again for a long time. Having been chased by a small yappy dog along the border, Scrubstripe is about to land a hefty blow to the irritating creature's face when a panicked voice calls out from nearby. We do have a refusal of patrol. I don't know if this is worth it. This is a new patrol for me. Scrubstripe flashes out to swipe at the dog, but is interrupted by a kitty pet rushing to stand in his way. Scrubstripe's fur bristles for a moment, but the kitty pet tells him to calm down, that this is their friend. As Scrubstripe recovers from whatever this is, he offers the kitty pet a place to stay in Trail Clan. This kitty pet's skill in communicating with dogs may come in handy later. Ooh, Violet Eye has joined the clan, improving our relationships. Here's Violet Eye, non-binary young adult, strict, clever, and a great healer. If only you'd been a doctor. Okay, that was definitely worth it. Okay, we have a few minor ailments. Day Eagle has gotten sick though, and Thunderspot finds some sparrow feathers while they were out walking. Oh, Thunderspot is now an elder. Or a senior, I suppose. So that just goes to show how long the trail is. Okay, we've encountered a very dangerous pack of wolves. We fight bravely and only get a very minor injury. Okay, and we also do have another successful training mission, so we are able to proceed again. Okay, so Skip Hare and Crest Freckle have become mates. I don't really care if the doctors take spouses in this challenge. Rattle Fox's brain is much better. Crumpet has gotten heat exhaustion. And Miss Paw does end up retiring to the Elder's Den. I'm curious to see if nope, they get a suffix, so they are now Miss Berry. And is sitting in the shade trying to hide from the heat. So, I mean, like, it's a little bit disappointing, but that's also fine. I did keep the option on for cats to choose to retire, just because I think it makes sense that if you're getting beat up on the trail, that maybe you just want to sit in the wagon and let somebody else do the hard work after a bit. There's no shame in not doing what you can't do, you know? Okay, that's another story. That's another successful proceeding. This last bit may or may not just be us cruising up the rest of the mountain. Okay, we had another successful training patrol, but we were only proceeding one spot all the same. Okay, so Needlepaw is named to Needleback, and Mousepaw to Mouse-Lichen. But Violet Eye was pushed off a cliff into sharp rocks at the bottom, and the culprit is unknown. So we have a murderer among us now. We are playing in a completely different minigame. Skip Hare is healed, but will always carry evidence of their issues at hand. And unfortunately, a few other cats are also feeling sick from the heat. So let's take a quick look here. Place your bets on who killed Violet Eye. Rattle Fox, the cat that nobody ever liked. Okay. Yeah, maybe I guess there was a reason for that. And here's Skip Hare now with all of their additional scars. Okay. I guess I could have refused this patrol, but we did save an elderly cat that was being injured along the way. He is 144 moons old, thoughtful, trusted advisor, and very clever. And he is injured with a broken bone, which is not as deadly as what some of those injuries could be. And we get a little bit of prey along the way, which is good because our needed prey is definitely starting to add up. Okay, so Twigstar failed to interpret a warning sign from StarClan and couldn't foresee the circumstances of her death. She now has 8 lives left. Day Eagle died of white cough. and took their place in Star Clan. I'm going to let the leaders retain their 9 lives. I'm not going to count this against Twigstar in any way. There are events that can just take away all the lives at once anyway. But I think it makes sense that the leader was still given the additional boon of the 9 lives to see their clan all the way up the mountain, which is why I say you can select your leader if you choose. I just didn't for sake of interest and not trying to choose a better boon. And we do recruit a new cat along the way, Saffron Feather. So here's Saffron Feather. Doesn't really look very saffron to me, but she's insecure, very clever, and a good storyteller. That's kind of random, but Twilight Thrush admits that they do not feel like a very good deputy. Mouse Lichen gives them a very good ear and does not allow them to bear that burden alone. Twilight Thrush feels a lot better. Since that is a training mission, we can proceed again. Like I said, I feel like it was kind of a slow start, but once you start to gain momentum, it kind of gets hard to undo in this game, which is partially why I wanted all of the cats that are available to go on the max patrol missions. I may as well refuse this. It won't hurt us to, and we only have one more success before we're at the end of this round, so I think this is a good time as any to use this. And Stone Whisper does go out alone on some of the game trails around the main trail they're taking, and does slip and fall, collapsing under rocks, but does manage to get out unharmed. Mouse Lichen was killed defending Twilight Thrush from a fox. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that was their kit. Yeah, that was their kit, so I know that they had just had a moment where they were like, you know, comforting one another and being thoughtful and listening, and then to have your own kit get killed defending you, I don't envy Twilight Thrush at all. And Twilight Thrush was able to weather some of the grief of the past with Mouse Lichen at their side, but now Mouse Lichen is gone and they don't know what to do. Their other parents, Daisy Flash and Thunderspot, are also mourning them. Needlebag has gotten White Cough, and Thunderspot was also badly injured by falling rocks. Oh, also, because this is a den possibility, I'm gonna say you could choose a bonus based off of your leader. I just had it as business as usual, and I think that kind of keeps it pretty equal, so I'm not gonna change that in any way. We can also see who's hungry here, so we're still fine. And I think I'm fine with keeping this as just by status for now. We'll start making those decisions if we ever get hungry again. So that's, again, totally fine. And just to give you an idea about who else we have out here, we have Dapple Clan, Shine Clan, Crest Clan, Snowy Clan, and Grass Clan, all ascending the mountain kind of alongside us. I honestly don't think that that's all that important. And Crest Freckle does successfully deter an argument. I think I'll count that as a success as well. So we are now at the end of that round. And like I said, I definitely think that this is going to start gaining momentum here for the last little bit. Which also does kind of make sense. The more hands are on deck, the lighter your work is. So we'll keep continuing. Twilight Thrush is expecting more kits. Tabitha did die from a broken bone though, but Saffron Feather was bitten by a snake and so far is surviving. So once again, we have a very particularly helpful training mission, and Scrubshrite seems to be the leader that emerges and helps others along their way to learn more advanced techniques and to get better, so that is going to be another success. And we did have another cat join the clan, that is Rio here. Young adult male who's daring, a good kit sitter, and a great teacher, sick with yellow cough. Okay, so we don't have enough prey for next moon. We'll need to gather more supplies. Twilight Thrush is now in the nursery. And Warbler Freckle was buried alive when an avalanche hit the camp. So that's really unfortunate, but I will say I'm pretty glad other cats didn't get stuck in with that avalanche as well. Maybe Warbler Freckle was just a little bit more on the outskirts and just happened to be the unlucky person to get hit. And Miss Berry is also trying to prevent infection. Okay, so Needleback ruins the supply mission and takes too much for herself, so we don't bring back very much at all. But that is enough to get us what we needed, so I don't know if I can really count that as a very small amount of prey. And Mimikyu has joined the clan. Where's Mimikyu? Ooh. So Mimikyu is an adult female who's childish, very clever, and a great mediator. I don't know if this is the kind of cat I would name Mimikyu, but I think that's still a very cute name all the same. Twilight Thrush and Daisy Flash welcome a single kitten. Oh, and the winter has really set us back. Twigstar broke a bone. We are going to be snowed in for a while. I think that's like 8 moons. So I'm probably going to skip through a fair bit of that unless something crazy happens, like Saffron Feather and Rio recovering from their ailments. Yeah, just like any other additions, losses, things like that. And so speaking of additions, we now have Glint Kit, a fearless newborn male with cyan eyes and speckled pelt born to Twilight Thrush and Daisy Flash. Okay, so Terra Pelt has joined the clan, along with Moral Kit and Pine Kit. So, ooh, Pine Kit looks cool. Where is... here's Terra Pelt, a calico cat, compassionate and fast runner. And then we have Moral Kit, a young adult male, polite and picky nest builder. And Pine Kit, a female daydreamer who's a moss ball hunter. Pine Kit has some really interesting pelt. I'm very curious to see what she looks like grown up a bit more. And other than that, we did gather some more prey supplies, so nothing really gained or lost there. Snow Peak is injured by some rats. Okay, unfortunately, we would have had another story, another successful training patrol, but we can't proceed. Okay, so Daisy Flash retires. Daisy Flash retires. Sorry if you could hear the bus. Crest Freckle also tossed a snake out of camp before someone could get hurt. And just to give a little bit of an update, here is what the clan is currently looking like. Okay, a few different cats have recovered from various ailments. Unfortunately, the only one still down is the one that matters. It also looks like we're doing pretty good on prey now. Here's Moral Paw and Pine Paw a bit more grown up. I just really want to show off Pine Paw, honestly. That is one of the most interesting torties I think I've ever seen. No! Twilight Thrush, Stone Whisper, and Crest Freckle are all killed. I'm gonna say, like, drowned in the river when we were looking to cross it. But Twigstar is healed. And everyone is grieving our losses. Oh, I am really sad that Twilight Thrush is dead. Looks like Crumpet got promoted in their place. She's wise, unusually strong fighter, and a great hunter, which honestly would grant us some pretty nice boons if she became leader, but there's not really much we can do there. And of course, Twigstar is now grieving, as is half of the clan, after losing those 3 pivotal members to us, so we are not able to proceed. Moral Paw does get injured by some dogs. And it does look like Glint Kit has become the new apprentice to the doctor, which is good. We need more apprentices. And Glint Paw is also given something to adorn their pelt with, which looks like it's dried nettles. And you can see we were just over a page there before, and now we are ratcheted back down a few notches. So that stinks. If there's anything that this little Super long pit stop has been good for it. It's been sucking up on prey. Mimikyu got hurt by another outlaw. Twigstar is still grieving, so we can't proceed. And sadly, Saffron Feather did pass away from a dog attack. And Moral Paw did pass away from their bite wound from the dog as well, so I think we're either being followed by a big pack of wolves, or possibly we are just being completely hassled by some outsiders. But either way, it's definitely not looking very good at the moment. And we have more rogues. I really don't want to proceed here, if I'm being totally honest. But the issue is that I don't know when Twigstar is going to feel up for going forward, and I only have one refusal patrol, and we have 4 other subsections of this round. So it's a risk. I'm proceeding. No. I shouldn't have done that. You still have to go on patrol. Smokepaw joined the clan. Yeah, that's totally worth it. If you guys thought that this was going to be a super easy challenge, I point at the screen. Smokepaw is looking around with wonder. They are injured with a cat bite. And understandably, everybody is beside themselves with all of the death and loss that's happened. And Twigstar chooses Scrubbed Stripe to take over as deputy, who is lonesome, formidable fighter with helpful insight and grieving. Okay, so we are able to proceed. Nowhere else to go but up, I guess. Okay, and while that was a training mission, that wasn't successful, and that's the only mission we can afford to do now. Wow, Daisy Flash really was the hot topic of the clan. Twigstar and Daisy Flash have become mates. And some of the cats are starting to recover a little bit from some of the mental wounds they've suffered with all the grief. Okay, we've encountered some goats headbutting. And we just watch them. Nothing too bad happens. Okay. We don't have enough prey though, and that could be an ongoing issue. And we really don't have that many cats anymore, honestly. We do bring back some food though. Okay. Finally, we were able to proceed after what, over a year of a halt? We were able to continue on. Smokepaw is now just called Smoke and is celebrated for his perspective. So here's our current clan. Definitely looking a lot thinner. Okay, so Rattle Fox ruins the experience for everybody, holding everybody back, so we can't proceed. The others bring back some food. Glint Paw is named to Glint Curl and is now a full doctor for the clan. Unfortunately, last I saw here, Glint Curl is bloodthirsty, so I'm really hoping here that nothing too bad happens with that combination. I am sending them out together just to kind of fulfill the same needs as before. But honestly, Glint Curl seems to be a lot more of a disadvantage than a helpful addition. While we do have a training mission, it's just too awkward. Okay, we do encounter another cat, and they do join in the clan. Worcestershire Stripe? I'm totally not saying that correctly, but here they are. Shameless with a keen eye and incredible runner. So I may or may not just end up calling them Stripe, we'll see. Mimikyu got hurt by some rats, and Twigstar is now expecting kits. Okay, I counted this as a success before, I will count this again. So we are now proceeding into our 3rd slot of round 4, and we only have 2 more to go. Oh, and we also do encounter another cat and recruit them. It's an intruder of an old kitty pat. Mealback reminds the patrol of the story of Tigger. They have a responsibility to help this cat. I have no idea who Tigger is meant to be. But Nikina is troublesome, a great storyteller and den builder who is sick with carrion place disease. The other unfortunate thing about Twigstar having kits is we're going to be down for like 3 moons while she recovers from this. So that definitely sinks, but I think the additional numbers at this point are beneficial. Ooh, Rattlefox confessed to skip hair and got rejected. And Twigstar has 2 more kits. And Nikina did pass the carrion place disease. So our 2 new kits are Peak Kit and Flint Kit. A newborn male who's sweet, and a newborn female who is bullying. I think Peak Kit, again, is a pretty good name for this clan, considering we're trying to ascend to the peak and what awaits. Not really sure where Flint comes in. Oh, and we do get Frigidflight joining the clan, along with Flood Kit and Cloudy Kit. So here is Flood Kit and Cloudy Kit, newborn female and male respectively. And Frigidflight is a lonesome, good kitty sitter and clever. And unfortunately, while I would have counted this as a success, we cannot proceed. This would have been a failure since everyone got spooked by the noises. Rattlefox's dreams of romance and love have been crushed by Skip Hare's rejection. I fear that Rattlefox is going to snap again. Rio died in a fight with a rogue, so I guess just those outlaws that are harassing us. Here's Peak Kit, Flint Kit, Flood Kit, and Cloudy Kit now. Oh man. So our medicine cats once again heard weird sounds and whispers, and while we couldn't save the queen, Granite Kit, Swan Kit, Tufted Kit, and Warbler Kit have now joined the clan. So here's Granite Kit, Swan Kit, who has a permanent condition being born without a leg, Tufted Kit, Warbler Kit, and Foggy Kit. They all honestly look basically the same to me. Ooh, Scrub Tribe rejects Frigidflight. I'm a little surprised by that just because Frigidflight literally just got here. I would not have seen that drama coming. And Twigstar is not feeling very good. She is infected and recovering. But here is Granite, Swan, Tufted, Warbler, and Foggy Kits. And Bellini has now joined the clan. Bellini. Here's Bellini, a senior adult male. Careful, beloved kit sitter with natural intuition. Maybe they can guide us a little bit better on the way. And yet another cat has joined the clan. This is Stoneflow. Oh, that's Smoke, sorry. Here's Stoneflow, who's strict and a good teacher, but is sick with carrion place disease. Twigstar's infection did progress, and she did lose another life. But fortunately, nothing else seems to have happened, but Tufted Kit has developed a permanent condition. So now we can finally proceed along the trail again. And everyone has a nice practice session. We're able to continue up the mountain. Thank goodness. We also get a large amount of prey for all of our troubles here. So it'll be interesting to see the time distribution about how long it took each round by the time we're completely done with everything. Round 3, I think, will be our fastest overall. So Daisy Flash got injured. Pluckit has gotten kitten cough. Stoneflow was wandering out on the territory and later found dead, just peacefully taken in their sleep, I guess. Okay. It's unfortunate, but that does happen, and I guess that beats dying of dysentery along the trail. Mordon has now joined the clan. Here's Mordon. Childless, natural intuition, great mediator, young adult male. And we get some prey. Peakit has gotten green cough, oh no. Oh, Mimikyu finds an abandoned kit. We rush them back to camp, and they are nursed back to health. Snapdragon Kit has joined the clan. And we met Melanie. Let's check out Snapdragon Kit, though. Fearless, confident with words, and now snuggled safe in the nursery. Kitten Cough has Kill Flood Kit. Aw. And Peakpaw is apprentice to Twigstar, Flintpaw to Bellini, and Cloudypaw to Tammy. Peakpaw is still sick with Green Cough, though. Okay, we do have a successful training mission there. So we are able to proceed to place, and we do gain another boon. So that's a refusal patrol. Those don't stack, so I really should have used that last one on the dogs. I knew I should have done it at the time, I just didn't. I was just a little concerned too. And then be in an even worse position later, like with a storm or something, but oh well. So we are now going into the final round of the game, and we're gonna see here in a little bit if we successfully ascend the mountain to settle at the peaks where our ancestors were and get to live out the rest of our days as a successful clan. With all the cats that we had joining along the way, I don't think we're gonna have too much struggle unless we get really, really unlucky with apocalypse events. Mimikyu retires. Granite Paw is made an apprentice, as is Swan Paw and Tufted Paw. And Warbler Paw has decided to take on the role of healing, under Skip Hair, who's proudly becoming their mentor. Foggy Paw becomes another warrior, which is... It's good that Warbler Paw chose to become a doctor, as Glint Curl did pass from a claw wound. I'm not really surprised, just because without Glint Curl we didn't have enough cats to heal everybody in the clan. And I'd be remiss to say that I'm sad Glint Curl is gone. I just was expecting some bad things with the Bloodthirsty Medicine Cat to happen. But Green Cough has taken Peakpaw's life, and everybody mourns Glint Curl. And Frigid Flight once again confessed her feelings to Scrub Stripe but got rejected. Oh boy. They do like each other. Just not like that, I guess. Okay, we hear a cat begging for housefolk. Rockbur has joined the clan. Here's Rockbur, adult female, compassionate, fast learner, and den builder who is sadly sick with red cough. And so probably won't survive, but that's a shame because she's very pretty. Yeah, Rockbur did not survive red cough very long there. Bellini has gotten white cough. Once again, Frigiflight confesses her feelings to Scrub Stripe and is rejected. Oh no, Twigstar is expecting more kids. We're gonna have another delay. Green Cough has taken Scrub Stripe's life. Oh no. And French died of carrion place disease. And Twigstar chooses Smoke to take over as deputy, knowing Scrub Stripe would approve. I don't know if I feel better or worse for Frigid Flight here, just because she really wanted to be with Scrub Stripe and just wasn't given that opportunity, even though they did like each other. And now Scrub Stripe is gone. Would it have been better to have had that happiness for a moon, or to have just never gotten to know it at all? I don't know. But Smoke is strict, a great speaker, and a good mediator. So we freeze as we catch the scent of multiple unfamiliar cats. Okay, turning his attention towards a noise, Worcesterite's fur begins to bristle with unease. I really think that this is going to be deadly. I also don't think I'm going to use my refusal patrol boon here, just because I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to need that to save more than one cat. Oh, okay. Turns out it's fine. We find two young cats shaking curled around each other. We're saddened to hear the details about how the two have been looking for a place to live when a sudden snowstorm hit. Chihiro and Light Nibble have joined the clan. So here's Light Nibble, young adult female, childish steady paws, and prophecy seeker. Then we have Light Nibble. Oh, here's Chihiro, a young adult male who is faithful in the lore keeper and kind of almost looks like a Siamese. He's injured with shivering. Miss Berry is getting rejected from Rattlefox. I think that's for the best. I don't think Rattlefox would be a healthy partner. And Snapdragon Paw is apprentice. And this was a pretty bad moon. Nothing was successful. So Daisy Flash and Twigstar have a new litter of 3 kits. Daisy Flash is the father of every single kit, I swear. And some cats are starting to recover from grief. Some cats get some minor injuries, but it doesn't look like anything too major happens there. So I think we're all good. And the 3 new kits that were born to our leader at a cost of us proceeding for like 8 moons are Posy Kit, Blossom Kit, and Roach Kit. 2 little girls and a little boy. Okay. Limp Paw is no longer shivering and has managed to get rid of frostbite. And everyone seems to have healed up, except for the cat, who kind of matters. We were not able to save a kitty pet, worsening our relationships with outsiders. Honestly, I think a boon that you could have as well, for some cats that are maybe a bit more stoic, could also be just the ability to proceed, even if they're unwell. At least for like 1 successful moon, you know? Tufted Paw is named to Tufted Stripe and Foggy to Foggy Twist. But Twigstar is not healing as well as she should. She's gotten infected again from her birth, so I don't know how worth it is. Like, how much it's worth to keep having more kits. If it's just going to literally kill you every single time. But I guess that's Twigstar's choice. A loner named Ember has joined the clan. And Flint Tuft is now named. And Cloudy Paw now has a permanent scar right across their neck. Where's Ember? Here's Ember. Adult male, adventurous, skilled mediator, and great hunter. Honestly, a really pretty cat, especially with that heather. Blizzard Kit has joined the clan. And literally nothing else exciting happens. Here's Blizzard Kit, shy, careful listener. Swan Paw is named Swan Valley. And Warbler Ice, I suppose is probably the better way to emphasize that, is named as a full doctor. And hopefully isn't bloodthirsty like the other one. Troublesome. Not great, but beats what we had before. And Glint Swirl has joined the clan. Glint Swirl is right here. Senior adult, careful, den builder, and good speaker. Also, I'm not gonna lie, we're starting to get so many cats, I'm getting nervous now. And once again, Flurry has joined the clan. Cloudy Wind is named, and Snapdragon Paw and Blizzard Paw become apprentices. Looks like Twigstar is all healed up. And we've got some other minor ailments, but nothing too bad. And Terrapel confesses her feelings to Mimikyu, asking to be mates, and the answer, it's not yes. Okay, we can finally proceed. I really hope Twigstar doesn't want to continue to expand her family, because that's going to really put a damper on things there. Noring Summit has joined the clan. Canoring Summit, maybe? Loving, good hunter, and dark forest affinity. A senior adult at 156 moons. She is injured with a broken back. And we successfully hunt. Aw, Chihiro and Light Nibble become mates, which is so nice because we found them together. And then he was attacked and killed by a badger. Okay. I should have read ahead. Should have read ahead. Sorry, Chihiro and Light Nibble. I'm very sorry. Okay. I think I'll actually use my boon here. I'm not going to proceed. Purdy has joined the clan. Also, just so you know, I'm not highlighting every cat that joins the clan at the moment. But Purdy is a young adult female, thoughtful with ghost sense. She's sick with green cough. Just because there's been a lot. Okay, and we finally have a successful mission, so we can proceed along the trail. Bellini becomes an elder, and it looks like everything else is okay. Okay, and we practice stretching, which I guess will help. We do successfully have a training mission. We can proceed another space. Okay, so we have some green cough, like kind of coming and going throughout the clan. And just to give you an update on the drama, spill the tea. Mealback confessed her feelings for Rorschach Stripe, but got rejected. Swan Valley and Flint Tuft, however, are now mates, which is quite cute. Okay, I used my boon. We have to proceed here. Aw, Snapdragon Heart passed away. Yeah, a lot of hunting missions, Echo, which we actually don't really need right now. Okay, yeah, Twigstar slipped on the ice and broke a bone. Okay, buckle in, we're gonna be here a second. This last ascension's gonna be a rough one. We had a lot of cats join the clan. Here's Monica. And her kits, Hazel Kit, Crow Kit, and Hollyhock Kit. We also have Minha join the clan. Blossom Paw is named Blossom Pelt. Roach Paw died of green cough. Mimikyu and Skip Hair have been practically floating since they announced that they're mates before Trail Clan. That's pretty cute. We don't have enough medicine cats anymore. I'm assuming it's just because we've grown up to multiple pages. Noring Summit couldn't survive her broken back. Posy Paw and Blizzard Paw are both named, so Posy Run and Blizzard Bone are going to be their new names there. And Twigstar isn't doing super well. She's got an infection growing. Ironically, I kind of hope she dies because that will allow us to proceed quicker than otherwise. We have plenty of food too. I'm not at all concerned about that. Even when we just have Moldon, Rocket, and Flash Kid joining the clan. Little Baby also joins the clan. Yes, Twigstar died. Okay, so as you can see, now she's healthy, and now we can continue ascending the mountain. I don't know that there's all that much else interesting going on. Just to give you an idea about how much the clan has grown, here's where we're currently sitting. I'm honestly thinking about moving the goalposts, so like you have to have at least a page of cats by the time you finish your ascension. But for people who get a little bit luckier with their cats than I did, I don't know if that's too much. But I think for us, that's entirely achievable. Okay, I'm counting this as a success. We had the Badger mission, nobody got hurt. If we get something more decisive, even better. Ember's been lost. That's unfortunate. I think we have enough pieces, though, to continue moving on. We just have 2 more spaces to go, and then we'll have successfully ascended. Flint Tuft fought a hawk and got hurt. A lot of cats have gotten heat exhaustion. I think we're really pushing ourselves to make that last little turn. We're looking out, we're seeing how high up we are. We're enjoying the view. We're ready to be there. We're only having a lot of hunting missions now, though. Kingston's ghost now wonders, but Burnt Kit and Buttercup Kit have joined the clan. Monica listens to both sides and makes a careful judgment. Keeps no one happy, which is the mark of an excellent compromise. I'll count that too. Some of the training missions, it's kind of hard to say just because of what they are, you know. But I think something that's like a good compromise is fine to say that we successfully managed to make progress. Honestly, we have a lot of ceremonies, a lot of health issues popping up. I'm not going to go too much into detail just because we're right at the end here and we have a lot of cats now. And we just keep getting the sound and whispers on the wind. Maybe it's coaxing us up to the ancient ruins of our ancestors. Light Nibble is expecting kits, and little baby has faded away and is no longer with us. Definitely a lot of problems, but I don't think we're in too bad of shape here. So Twixar is still feeling good. We have plenty of cats. We're just gonna see if we can't get this training mission going. I thought that was gonna be it, but it wasn't. Butternut's ghost now wonders if Blaze Kit, Rhyme Kit, and Magpie Kit had joined the clan. Okay, we have another ambush here. I don't have any other boons left, so we have to proceed. But luckily, no issues there. Okay, and we listen carefully as we learn how to take advantage of the cliff's craggy surface to proceed. So with that, we successfully move forward and we have cleared the mountain. I think I actually went an extra space there, which is totally fine. I think it's fine to need to push a little bit harder to reach the end there. But I think that's honestly a pretty fun little mini game. The rules as I laid them out took me like 2 hours and some change, but that's also the introduction and making the clan. So if you want to play Clangen, it's just like a one little off instance and you don't want to spend an incredible long amount of time doing it, I think this is a pretty good way too. So there are definitely some modifications I think that you can make to make it a little bit more challenging if you so desire. Like you can limit it so you don't accept any outsiders and you can only use the cats that you have with you. You can make it so you can lose spaces and gain spaces, so it can be a little bit more dynamic that way. You can make it so the leader has to patrol and therefore could get hurt more often, or change around the boons so it's a little bit easier, a little bit harder for you. But yeah, I think the boons of a free hunting patrol, a free refusal of a border patrol, smaller patrols, and a guaranteed successful training patrol, even if like it's a fail, it's like a reroll sort of thing. I think those are good starts. I also think that having a mission so that maybe like the leader's time sick doesn't count for one specific injury, I think that could be good, maybe a little broken. So yeah, if you decide to play this, feel free to @ me in the Clangen Discord and tell me how it went. I'll also be posting this in my own Discord, so if you're interested in hanging out with me there, feel free to join that link in the description below. But thank you all so much for embarking on this journey with me. I hope it was fun for you guys as well. And until next time, stay safe, stay happy. I'll see you all then, and bye!